Hey everyone, Gio here from Fandom United. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. Basically, what I've been doing for the past week is recapping the day's biggest news and presenting it to you in about a 12 to 15 minute video. In the past couple of months, I've been recapping the news every Sunday for the week that was. So I figured I'd give this a try, and hopefully, this becomes a normal thing. I see it as a win-win for me and you. I get to talk about the things that I'm interested in a lot quicker instead of waiting all the way until Sunday, and you get information faster. And hopefully, we can have a good conversation. So, if you're ready, let's get it started. Today is July 1st, the first of the month. We got news, we got rumors, and we got leaks. We're going to start with some news. Producer Kevin Feige was recently doing an interview to promote Black Widow, and he talked about the Mandarin in Shang-Chi and that Iron Man 3 twist. And he said, and going back to Iron Man 1, we've been talking about that when we do bring this character to the screen. We only wanted to do it when we felt we could do it supreme justice and really showcase the complexity of this character, which frankly, we couldn't do in an Iron Man movie because an Iron Man movie is about Iron Man. An Iron Man movie is about Tony Stark. So Shane Black in his film and his script that he co-wrote came up with this fun twist that we love to this day, and it turned out to be Trevor Slattery. Just because that version wasn't real didn't mean there's not a leader of the Ten Rings, and that is who we meet for the first time in Shang-Chi. That kind of makes sense given the father-son relationship that will be explored in this movie, but still, you brought up Iron Man 3, Kevin Feige. Okay, I still have problems with that movie's 8 years later, okay? First off, Tony Stark to threaten the at the time, the Mandarin on live television and give your address, then go home. And out of all the suits that you had, all the suits that you showed off at the end of the movie, you put on the one suit that isn't ready for flight, isn't ready for battle. And yeah, it was a cool attack sequence at the Tony Stark mansion, but it just did not make sense. And then, of course, the Mandarin twist. The marketing had us all hyped for the Mandarin, Ben Kingsley.
Lesson number 1. Heroes. There is no such thing.
It may not have been comic accurate, but it fit. And we were all ready to believe that it would be Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. versus Ben Kingsley's The Mandarin. And that did not turn out to be the case. It backfired because then they did that Marvel one shot called All Hail the King to kind of undo what they did in Iron Man 3. I get that Iron Man 3 has its fans, and if you're one of them, I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on the Mandarin, that Iron Man 3 twist. And if you're a defender of that, I'd love to hear it. Let me know your thoughts down below. But we're going to go from one Marvel upcoming movie to another one. Now, this deals with Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you don't want to know anything about the movie, any possible reveals via leaks, rumors, then you can skip forward to the next topic. I have it on timestamps, so you can see them all in the description. But if you're ready, let's talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Some new images have leaked online for the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home movie via Lego sets, and boy, do they reveal some potential spoilers. Now, let me start off by saying on the top of the box, there's a gold circle that says, inspired by Marvel Studios' Homecoming and Far From Home. So some of these images are based on what we've seen so far in the first two Spider-Man movies in the MCU. The first box on the left shows Vulture and looks like some drones that are attacking black-suited Spider-Man. Could we see Vulture in the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home as one of the Sinestro Six? Possibly. He's been already established, and he's a fan favorite villain, so his return on the big screen could be a welcome one. Now, the box to your right features Spider-Man, Nick Fury, and Mysterio, so this one's very Far From Home influenced. You see the drone, you see Mysterio right there, and Spider-Man going on the attack to take down Mysterio. Could Mysterio return? I'm not so sure about this one. I'm more confident in Vulture. But hey, what do we always say about the MCU? Nobody really dies. And for better or worse, we could see the return of Mysterio maybe from an alternate universe, who knows. But the biggest reveal is with this last image, and what you're seeing is possibly an action set piece that takes place in Doctor Strange's sanctum. First thing that catches my eye is the Scorpion mech suit, and it's been heavily rumored that Norman Osborn, and not just any Norman Osborn, William Dafoe's Norman Osborn, will be a major villain in this movie. He will come from a different universe once the floodgates, that is the multiverse, has opened up, and he may very well be the one who provides Scorpion with this mech suit. Remember, Scorpion is a character that was teased in the post-credits for Spider-Man Homecoming, so one would think that setup would pay off in No Way Home. I did forget to mention that Wong is also in the sanctum as well. Looks like he's captured by the mech Scorpion. We see Mary Jane doing the best with whatever she finds. It would be funny if those candles were actually some sort of magic and she ended up unknowingly attacking them. And then we see off in the back Peter Parker, and he is rocking a new suit. Let's call it the Iron Spider Mark II. And there you see a better image on the top right of your screen. So he's going to have a new suit, and he's going to need it because he is going up against the Sinister Six. That's just a prediction on my end based on everything that we know regarding Jamie Foxx's Electro appearing, as well as Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. And of course, this being the sanctum, you got Doctor Strange up there. He's probably helping out in the fight. Now, from what I've heard, based on rumors, take it with a grain of salt, Doctor Strange has been locking up villains who have been appearing in the main MCU timeline. He's turned his sanctum into part of a holding cell where he is holding Doc Ock, William Dafoe's Green Goblin, and Jamie Foxx's Electro. Take it with a grain of salt, but it would make sense that an attack would break out in the sanctum. Also, if you've been watching the Loki show on Disney Plus, the latest episode's post-credits scene, clip, whatever you want to call it, it once again confirms that we will see multiple versions of characters in upcoming movies. And what's the movie that's coming out this December? That would be Spider-Man No Way Home. I've been following this for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, and I love the idea of seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire on the big screen one more time. I've said it time and time again. But you guys leave me your thoughts on these images. What do you think? What's your speculations? Anything that I may have missed? Anything that you want to add? Let me know your thoughts down below. But let's move on to DC now. We have an interesting update if it turns out to be true. So the Green Lantern TV show is apparently on the way. We were supposed to get a movie in 2020, but Warner Brothers is set on doing an HBO Max series for the Green Lantern Corps. And this latest piece of information comes from the Illuminati, and they claim the producers of the show may have found their Sinestro. So the rumor is Tobias Menzies is in talk to play the ally turned enemy Sinestro. Producers noticed his performance as Edmund Tully in Game of Thrones, specifically how the character was labeled as an impetuous military leader. Now, to recap the latest details regarding the series, from what we know so far, it will be 10 one-hour episodes for the first season, spanning across multiple time periods from the 40s to the 80s to present day. Lanterns such as Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner, who actor Finn Wittrock has been cast to play, Simon Baz, and Alan Scott, who not too long ago it's been reported that Jeremy Irvine will play that character, are said to be appearing. Greg Berlanti, a longtime showrunner for the CW shows, both the good ones and the bad ones, Seth Grahame-Smith, and Mark Guggenheim are producing, with the latter two co-writing. Okay, first thing I need to mention is that Google autocorrected. The name is Edmure Tully, and I should have caught that, but it's Edmure Tully. But based on that character, I could see the fit for Green Lantern's Sinestro. And he wouldn't have been my first choice. I heard names like Michael K. Williams, possibly, and obviously the guy from Fast 6, I believe Luke Evans, who he also played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast live action. He would be a perfect choice. but based on Tobias Menzies' portrayal of the Edmure Tully character in Game of Thrones, I could see the fit. I will say he has some big shoes to fill. Say what you will about Green Lantern 2011 starring Ryan Reynolds, Mark Strong was perfect as Sinestro.
You must ignore your fear. When you're afraid, you can't act. You can't act, you can't defend it. You can't defend, you die.
And if it were up to me, DC's already establishing the multiverse. Why not pull Mark Strong's Sinestro and put him in this series? Do what Marvel's doing with J.K. Simmons and bringing him back as J. Jonah Jameson for Spider-Man. I mean, DC wants to be like Marvel, right? That's what they're all about. They don't care as long as it's close to what Marvel's doing. So there you go. Why not? But you guys let me know your thoughts on the Green Lantern possible casting for Sinestro. Do you think Tobias Menzies would make a good fit? Do you have someone else in mind? What do you think about this show, this series? Let's move on to our last topic. And this one's a smaller update, but nevertheless, for me, exciting. The Old Guard 2 has officially finished its script. The script is ready. Charlize Theron is game, and filming is expected to begin in the first quarter of 2022. Reuniting with Charlize Theron from the first movie is actor Marian Canzari and Luca Marinelli, who will reprise their respective roles as Joe and Nikki, who you can see in the background. There's no word yet on whether any other cast members will be joining the sequel, including Niall Freeman, who you see to the left, who was a standout in that movie. But going back to the Joe and Nikki characters, one thing I want to point out, first off, yes, they are LGBTQ characters. But more importantly, they are great characters. Now, why do I say more importantly? Because that should be the first priority when it comes to representation. Give us great characters first, and then you can do the LGBTQ route if you choose to do so. But that's been my whole thing about representation and diversity. You got to give us great characters first before you just throw it in there just for the sake. Okay, I think that's disrespectful. And if you're going to do something like that, do it right. So I can be very critical, but I'm also very supportive of that. As for The Old Guard 2, it's probably one of my more favorite Netflix original films. I like it more than Extraction. Is it perfect? No. I think the villain of the first Old Guard movie is just terrible. But I love the mythology. I love Charlize Theron in an action role, a lead action role. I was invested in the characters, invested in the world. I wanted to see where it goes next. And the whole idea about these immortal warriors one day losing their immortality and finding out what it's like to be human again and being in that just whole situation of, all of a sudden they're in danger now and they just have to come to terms with it. I definitely want to see where this franchise goes. I'm so happy that they're doing a sequel and Netflix is killing it. But you guys let me your thoughts on The Old Guard 2 as well as the rest of the topics. That's going to do it for today's daily news recap on Fandom United. My name's Gio. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And again, your comments, I love them. I appreciate your take. Before I go, I will plug a few videos. My F9, The Fast Saga spoilers review is up on the channel. And yes, my facial expression says it all. I can't wait to deep dive into this movie and the franchise, maybe over the weekend. But also, if you're a fan of the DC animated films, a must-see is Batman The Long Halloween Part 1. It is one of the best DC animated adaptations. I love the 13 comic series called Batman The Long Halloween. And this, you definitely have to check out. And once you do, come back and check out my spoilers review. Myself and a fellow DC fan, we went into a full deep dive spoiler discussion on Part 1 and Part 2. We're excited about it. It comes out next month. Well, actually, it's the first of the month, so it comes out later this month. I can't wait. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much again for joining me. Thank you for your time and for your subscriptions. Again, this is an experiment, but I hope to be doing it Monday through Friday as long as there's enough topics. As long as there's enough topics that I'm interested in talking about, I will do these videos more and make it as convenient as I possibly can. But thank you again. All of you have a great night. Until tomorrow, Have a good one.